I had to like
calm
myself down. Like I had friends that were like, you know, I'm like, no, we need to get it done, so they need to know we gotta get it done. And they're like, calm down.
Right. I was just locked into my hotel the other day, and I couldn't figure out the lock, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm locked in. He was like, calm down.
Yeah, like that's the culture shock of like, you can't just expect things to be done. You really can't. Like, then you gotta be careful not to be rude. Like, I'm not a rude person. I try really hard to be polite and just like a nice person. But sometimes, you know, the America comes out and you're like, what do you mean it's not done? And then I've had friends like try to tell me like, you know, that the way that comes off is like you're not being patient, you're being rude. And so just taking that and being like, okay, I'm sorry, that's not what I meant. What I meant is like, when is it gonna get done?
Exactly.
When is it done already? So that's the biggest culture shock, is just like slowing down enough to like match the pace.
Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lala, and today I'm here with Marlo, known as Marlo Moves on YouTube, and she's originally from Sudan and she spent some time in America. Can you introduce yourself to the people, tell them where you're from and what are you doing here in Ghana?
Absolutely. Hello, I'm Marlo from Marlo Moves on Instagram, Marlo_moves, and also on YouTube as Marlo Moves. So I am a digital nomad. I'm traveling all across the world, mostly in Africa and mostly here in Ghana. I have a home base here in Ghana, and I'm also from the United States, so I live in the United States partially as well. So I basically travel around, get to know the different areas I'm in, talk a little bit more about what it's like to like build a life there. For the case of Ghana, what it's really like to build your life here and to grow your investments here. For anyone who's interested in investing in Ghana financially, through real estate or through other ways of investing, I also share information about that. And yeah, it's mostly a lot of my life as a digital nomad and a traveling diasporian.
Okay, so you spent some time in Sudan. You're originally from there. What is the difference between Sudan and Ghana?
So the difference between Sudan and Ghana is that Ghana is a lot more developed than Sudan is. Khartoum is like a relatively developed place because in the past there was a big city. A lot of trade has happened through Khartoum through decades and decades, millennia at this point, because we are at the beginning of civilization in Sudan. We have the oldest civilizations, oldest tribes of people from that area, but there's been a lot of political strife, and so because of that, a lot of the development has halted in the last 30 to 40 years. And so Ghana is much more developed. It's developing quicker as we speak. People are investing into Ghana. You know, you have banks here that work. In Sudan, your bank card doesn't work, and that's crazy. And here there's a lot of similarities as well because they're both African countries, but here it's West Africa. West Africa has a different vibe to it, different beat than East Africa does. And both are great countries. They're just a little bit different. Mostly the similarities, the people are both very kind. So I feel like I fit in well here because of the mannerisms of Sudanese people, and the mannerisms of Ghanaians is to be very hospitable, to be kind, to be friendly. So that's something that I really like and appreciate here.
I've met quite a few Sudanese people in my life, and they're just as kind, if not kinder than, you know, some of the countries that I've been to. So overall, what's your first impression of Ghana, and is this your first time here?
So this is not my first time in Ghana. I come here like multiple times throughout the year, so I'm here like a good chunk of the year. My first impression when I first got here a couple of years ago was, wow, this is very similar in a lot of ways to Sudan. And wow, this is very comfortable.
Really?
Because when you travel through Africa, I've been through multiple African countries, but the idea is that Africa is not that comfortable. But in the neighborhoods that I spent a lot of time in, it's really like a lot of the similar Western like commodities are there. Like you can have like running water, you have nice roads. You have like skyscrapers if you want that, but also in some neighborhoods it's not that. So I found myself like I landed softly in Ghana. I did a lot of preparation and planning, and the food was really good, and so that was probably the first thing I did when I first got here. Was like my friend picked me up and we went to a fufu joint, a local fufu joint.
That's what
you know, that's the first thing you have to do when you go to Ghana.
Exactly.
Bags and everything. You need to go to a local joint, and we just had the best. Like fufu at that point became my favorite food.
Yeah.
The nose like dripping and everything. It's so spicy, and then it was so good.
What did you eat yours with the first time?
Oh, we had everything. It was like a big like shared pot. Yeah, and it had like it had goat meat and it had fish, tilapia. I think that was everything for that one. But it had like a lot. I don't know. I didn't know what I was eating. I was like, I'll eat it.
Yeah. So you spend time in America. Could you tell me the differences between America and Ghana?
Yeah. So the differences for me definitely is the pace of life. In the US, we are expected to just work all the time. It's all about like, what do you produce? Why are you valuable? Why are you here right now? Where are you going next? So I feel like there's a lot of anxiety with that. In Ghana, like time doesn't exist in Ghana. That's why everyone is late to everything. So people are just living their lives genuinely. They're like, I get there when I get there. You see me when I see like you see me when you see me. And so here I really appreciate, because I feel like my nervous system has relaxed.
And
I
don't have as much anxiety.
Exactly. There's no anxiety. And it's safer here. Like in the US, we have a lot of like crime and violence. And so here there's not as much of that, honestly. So you feel like you're not looking over your shoulder. You don't have to worry about what people are doing or thinking. You know, like people genuinely, they'll ask you all these questions. And I think actually something I have to learn is like we're always on defense in the United States. But here people are genuinely just curious. And they're like, why? Like, you know, they're interested in you. And so people are like living in community here. In the United States, it's very individual. Your goals are individual minded. Here, like your neighbor is your community. Your extended family can be like, it doesn't even have to be blood. Like it can be like this person you see, like they'll bring you into their family. So I feel like close to strangers here much more than I do in the United States. The US is more organized though. So like when you need to get stuff done, like do business and everything, the United States is definitely more, it's easier to like really get through the bureaucracy. Here, like you have to pay a little extra for things to go quicker. So at that point, like I'm like, you know what, you go ahead and this is a tip. Please hurry up.
So we know you've spent time in Sudan and America. So I know you're well traveled, but is there anything in Ghana that was like a culture shock for you?
I think the culture shock of, I mean, it's really hard for me to say like major culture shock. I really got to think about it, because I'm like, what was really hard? I mean, there's just some things about like how people like talk to each other, or how patient they are here. Maybe that's more of a culture shock. I think people in Ghana are even more patient than people in Sudan are. So people are so patient about things that I had to like calm myself down. Like I had friends that were like, you know, I'm like, no, we need to get it done. So they need to know we got to get it done. And they're like, calm down.
I was just locked into my hotel the other day, and I couldn't figure out the lock. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm locked in. He was like, calm down.
Yeah, like that's the culture shock of like, you can't just expect things to be done. You really can't. Like, then you got to be careful not to be rude. Like, I'm not a rude person. I try really hard to be polite and just like a nice person. But sometimes, you know, the America comes out and you're like, what do you mean it's not done? And then I've had friends like try to tell me like, you know, that the way that comes off is like you're not being patient and you're being rude. And so just taking that and being like, okay, I'm sorry, that's not what I meant. What I meant is like, when is it gonna get done? Like, why is it done already? So that's the biggest culture shock, is just like slowing down enough to like match the pace of the country.
So overall, would you live here permanently? Why or why not?
Absolutely. Ghana is one of my second homes. I want to have multiple homes all over the world.
Yeah, me too.
So I love that. Oh, okay. People sometimes hear that and they're like, what? And I'm like, no, I want like small homes everywhere. Yeah, and you just visit where you love, and then you go somewhere else that you love. So for me, Ghana definitely already is a place to live forever, and I've been building community around that concept. So like understand like where do I want to like really like nest, and it's safe here. It's like very globalized enough, like, but it's still traditional in some ways that I like as like an African. It's just comfortable, and people are just like, they're the same vibration that I'm at, I think, that like chill vibe. Like, so I definitely already I'm on that path of making Ghana home.
Okay, so let's talk about relationships. Have you formed any relationships here?
No.
And how do they differ to
I mean,
dating here? How does it differ
dated
to,
here. Like, I've dated here, but I haven't been in a relationship here.
So how does it differ to the ones you've had in your the previous countries you've lived in?
Yeah, so here I think dating, there are plenty of men to date here. There are plenty of women also, is what I heard. There's people come up to you, people want to date here. Like, I feel like in the US, everyone acts like they don't want a partner.
Date, right? Like it's just too cool.
Yeah, everyone's too cool. They're waiting for someone else to come up to them, and they act like they don't want someone to be with. And I'm like, why are we dating? You know, dating culture in the US is way more casual, I think, than here. So here, like, people will introduce you to other people. Like, I have friends that are like, I know someone for you, and so that actually makes, I think, the dating like stick a little bit more for people here. I tried dating on like going on the app, like Bumble and stuff. I don't recommend that, actually. I wouldn't do it. My Ghanaian girlfriend said don't do it, and I tried it. I did it. You know, they said don't do it. I did it. And and then I went to like casually hang out with like a couple of guys, and the scammers are on there. Like, the scammers are on there, and they look for you. Like, they know what it looks like. And luckily I caught it, but I'm just thinking about like all the women that won't catch it. It's so subtle, and they'll spin crazy lies, and you have to be careful. It's not the same as like online dating is how you date in the United States. There isn't really any other way to date at this point. Like, maybe networking is the only other way.
Exactly. Like, I would never date online because you just don't know who you're running into.
You don't know who you're running into.
Yeah, and they could portray to be anyone on there.
So I tried. No, you're okay. I tried that, and now I'm not on there because I think it's just not the same culture for it. And here they also think that women on there are like desperate, or there are women on there that are prostitutes, right? And that's like their work platform, and so it's not. They know the difference between like maybe the international women that are just trying to date, and then there's the other like working women. And so I think you just have to be careful, and if you do date someone using the app, I think just date someone who's also traveling international, because local Ghanaians won't really use that app seriously. If you're looking for a local Ghanaian, they're not going to use it seriously. That's just the honest truth of like, tried it, wasn't it, met some cool people, but would not recommend, because you don't know what you're getting yourself into. Otherwise though, dating here is like, men love to shower you with affection here. So I just feel so like happy as a woman. Like, I feel like a woman when I'm in Ghana. I feel seen. I feel like so feminine. I'm allowed to be feminine. Men want to do the whole like courting process. They like love women here. They're like really want you to feel like a feminine goddess, and I like that. So I think if you're ready for that kind of experience, then just they'll come up to you. You don't have to look for them. Don't worry. They'll come up to you like anywhere you are, and it's really respectful for the most part. It's not like, hey shorty, what's up? Like, like nothing like that. It's like most of them will try to come and they'll ask for your number. Can I have your number? And you can say no. That's the thing here. Like, I'll say no, sorry, I can't give you my number. I don't even give an excuse anymore. I don't say I have a boyfriend. I don't say like I'm married. You could say that.
You could just say I'm not interested.
I literally say no, I can't give you my number, and they're like, okay. And they're like, usually like, I want to talk to you, let's be friends. That's kind of their line. Like, let's be friends or something, which I respect. I'm like, you should be. That's how you should start a relationship. Let's be friends.
So, would you recommend your family to move to Ghana and your friends? And what type of personality do you think fits best in Ghana?
Definitely, I recommend it to anyone who wants to live in Africa and loves Africa. So I don't recommend coming to Africa if you want to take advantage of Africa or if you do not appreciate like what's not genuinely here. So things are not going to be like the Western world for 100%. So you can't complain all the time, oh my god, the roads aren't perfect, oh my god, like the internet isn't like as fast. That's just the reality of things here, but there's so many other aspects to living here that make it amazing. That I love. So I highly recommend it. I think your nervous system will be relaxed. You will be able to just live holistically. Like you can live a life that I think most of us naturally need to live, where you can disconnect, but also it's connected. You know, you're still, it's a global city, Accra at least is. And what was the second part of your question?
Oh, what personality do you think fits best here?
Definitely a relaxed personality fits better. I think if you are someone who needs things done quickly and you have no tolerance for that, you're gonna struggle here. But people are business minded, so they get things done too. So that's another person. If you want to build business, you want to grow and stuff, Ghana is definitely a that kind of bubble. People hustle here, they want something to happen, but they're not hustling maybe as much as like Nigeria
or Kenya.
They're not hustling in that same manner. So if you want that level of like go, it's not that. It's not Ghana. But December Ghana is fun. So if you want to be like a party person and hang out and meet and socialite, the socialites come in December because that's when you will meet anyone and everyone from all over the world, and you'll meet some really impressive people, make some great connections. But otherwise, the rest of the year is very chill. So I think usually a relaxed person is better than
So overall, what is the best part of Ghana?
Definitely, I think it's just the atmosphere for me. Like, for me, it's the fact that like, it's all of it. Like, it's just luxurious living for me personally. I feel like, or maybe it's luscious. Like, I feel like I'm living a luscious life here. Surrounded by good food, good people, wholesome people who check on you. Like my friends will call me all the time, like, "Hey, what's up?" At first, that was a culture shock. I'm like, "What do you want?" Like, you know, like if we only text each other if we need something or we really want to talk about something serious. But new friends will be like, "Hey, I'm just checking up on you." Like that's wholesome because they really care about your well-being.
Exactly.
So they're like,
that too.
"How are you? Like, what's up?" And so I feel like in Ghana, I'm just living like a holistic life, and it's slowed down enough to where my body and my mind are like balanced, but at the same time, like I'm motivated to like continue to do things. There's always somebody doing something interesting, so I'm motivated still.
And what is the negative of being in Ghana? Like, what's one thing you don't like?
For sure, let's see. It's really hard because I really like Ghana. The negative, I think probably getting here is kind of hard. Like there's one, I think only Delta does a direct flight here. It's the only flight you can come directly to Ghana.
To get here.
To get here you have to go like to so many, like they need to get that together because so many people are coming into Ghana. We should be able to fly directly into Africa, not go to East Africa to come to like Ghana. So I think Delta's the only flight that I think of that I know of that does it. So I think that's probably the biggest one.
All right, you guys, so we're losing light. I'm about to close up this interview right now, but I just wanted to ask you, how are the locals treating you in Ghana since you've been here?
Oh, definitely with a lot of hospitality. People are so nice and welcoming, and like it's like no wahala energy here. Like people don't care. They are just living their lives, and I think it's like most places in the world, if you treat people with respect, they treat you with respect as well. So overall, really well.
Okay. So what advice would you give to someone who's looking to travel or live here and they feel discouraged?
Absolutely, I would recommend you do your research, watch YouTube videos, look up everything online, understand why you want to go to this country, make a list of like, okay, this is what I need to do next. Just be prepared and be open-minded, and so when you come here, you're not always comparing it to where you come from or another place you've been to, because every place in the world is different and has its pros and its cons. So if you come with an open mind and you are well prepared, I think you'll have an amazing experience, and don't be afraid to actually talk to people, talk to them about their experience. Like I like to hear about like, what do Ghanaians think about politics here? I have no stick in the game, so I'm just like, let me just listen to you, and people tell you all about their life. And so it's really important to get out of your bubble and like experience the country yourself, but also just like understand what is it really like for people to live there. So
Yes,
that's my advice for people.
I agree. Well, I would like to thank you for coming on my show. And if anyone wants to find you, where can they find you? Just give them your socials.
Yeah, please do check me out at Marlo Moves on YouTube, and also Marlo_moves on Instagram. So we'll just like put the details right here so you can go ahead and find me. And then also I will be adding more videos of really awesome people.
Let's
like
get
Lala.
her to 2,000 subscribers.
Yes, please give me 2,000 because I just got on. So people like Lala also would be on my channel, so that I would be able to share more stories also in my experience in Ghana. So
okay, thank you for coming.
So much, Lala.
All right, you guys. So
you
guys heard her. Just prepare yourself mentally, emotionally, do your research, and make your way to Ghana. All right. So thank you for watching, you guys, and have a good day. One love. Bye.